Hello guys, I hope you are having a great day and are doing well wherever you are. In this video, I'm going to give you my thoughts and take on the recent updates to DMZ, especially from a solo player's perspective. I know that I am not alone in playing DMZ solo, as many of you do so as well. So with that preamble done, here we go. All I can say is, holy smokes. As of this writing, the DMZ is on fire right now. This is not last season's DMZ for sure. If you go in as a solo player, you need to be on point. Keep your head on a swivel and move accordingly. Expect to get jumped, hassled, stalked by teams like never before. I have seen an increase in teams of 3 or more, sometimes 5 players, but in general, the aggression is up, and it's not just the AI. It seems like an abundance of players tired of the shenanigans in Warzone 2.0 have infiltrated DMZ and are bringing their attitudes with them as well. The usual suspects are still there, such as the exfil campers and the like. However, with the addition of the pyro and the safe on the train, things are getting way out of hand. It's the OK Corral with a Groundhog Day effect. I have loaded into multiple games where someone's drilling the safe on the train and just riding around with it opened, just trying to bait and ambush unsuspecting players. You can see it the majority of the time in game where it's just circling the map. Also in play is the weapons case from the pyro set out in the open like a mousetrap. Don't be the mouse and fall for the cheese. The safe on the train is usually the first thing that comes under attack within moments of loading in. And I know it's new, so that is also part of the attraction, but this is something different. There used to be a time when people got a weapons case and got the heck out of Dodge and hit the exfil as soon as they could. Last season there was a lot of baiting with the Juggernaut's weapon case near the end of the season, but players are currently taking baiting to a completely different stratosphere in this current season. I have rarely come across other solo players this season. It's not impossible to be a solo player, now, but it is extremely difficult. The spawns have changed somewhat, so as a solo DMZ player, it's more than likely that you will have an operator, encounter early on in your session. To that, there are a few things that you'll need to do to increase your survival rate. Some of this will be common sense, but for those of you who have not done it yet, do everything you can to open up insured weapon slots. I know you can craft weapons in this season, to your liking. However, that will take time, and you'll also need to hunt for specific items. It's far easier to bring in a silenced weapon, especially your favorite one from your multiplayer loadout. Granted that you saved a copy of it, it will save you from having to spend time upgrading or crafting an enemy weapon to your liking when you can spend that valuable time elsewhere. Keep in mind that operators will most assuredly be nearby or camping, crafting, and buy stations. These are the type of hyenas that we are dealing with this season. Approach these areas with caution and let the AI give you visual indications of operators in the area. When you get to the station of your choice, be quick about it and don't linger. Get what you came for and get out. I've been at buy stations where I could see an operator approaching or heard them on comms looking for me. Always have an egress planned out for such occasions when you're outgunned. Choose your battles wisely. If you haven't already, try to craft a comms vest. It will alert you to enemy players in your vicinity. I'm not sure of the exact range of it currently, but I will get back to you on that one as soon as I can. I do, however, believe it's somewhere around, I think like 100, 120 meters, but with that said, a 3-plate comms vest will help greatly, especially in those instances where you don't notice the enemy stalking. To craft it, you will need 2 hard drives, 2 batteries, and 1 soothing cream. If you're going to craft something, do your research in advance as to what you will need to craft the item of your choice. There are plenty of tutorials to help you in that regard. It will greatly cut down on the need to go to a crafting station twice. Once to find out what you need and once to get it. That alone is a 50% reduction in your exposure rate. You have to go into areas with the mindset of, if I was going to ambush someone, where would I do it from? It may sound corny to some, but I can almost guarantee you there are operators out there scoping you in from the exact vantage points you would use yourself. Make sure you take some time to listen when you're maneuvering around areas. Just yesterday I was alerted to an operator in my area from the sound of them chewing on a crunchy snack. They didn't say anything at all, but I'm sure they weren't even thinking that their noshing was giving them away. So essentially, be aware of the usual hotspots like exfils, strongholds, bosses, and especially the train. Depending on your style of play and what you want to accomplish, I'd craft a scavenger backpack next, as the required materials are a bit easier to get than for the secure backpack, which will require a gold skull. You can get that from killing the chemist, but that's going to take a little more work, and everyone in the area will know what you are up to. There is also the high probability that someone has already taken out the chemist before you. Remember, you are running solo, and people will watch you to take out an enemy and then gut you for what you have. Unfortunately, this season is far more toxic than ever, so, trust no one. If you send out a joint invite or someone sends you one, don't linger before accepting it or waiting for someone to accept yours. Hesitation is often a tactic to get you off your guard, while another team member can get you in their sights. You may think my approach extreme, but I've had enough experiences now, and I can only go by those experiences where I tried to be friendly, only for it to turn out bad for me. I've only had 2 situations, maybe 3, where there was a positive outcome. Given the number of additional or more frequent encounters coupled with these current spawns, I suggest you don't activate radar towers unless absolutely necessary. While you may be going for the tower activation banner, this will also alert other operators that you are in the area. So be careful when you activate a tower, and try not to stick around too long after you've activated one. There's also a banner for killing 500 operators, so that also may factor into some of your encounters as well. With that said, and all of the changes made to DMZ this season, including the pay to win bundles aspect introduced, that's going to be a different video in itself. Your likelihood of PvP encounters in DMZ is high. This used to be a semi-chill sort of mode with some aspects of operator on operator PvP. Unfortunately, it has become far more aggressive, and if you're just trying to get missions done, it's going to be far harder to fly under the radar, so to speak. You even, have in-game exploits where teams of 3 are loading up the game together and then joining forces to form a 6-man Superman team, or super team, or Superman team, you might as well say, wreaking havoc on, one server. There will always be exploits in games, that is expected. However, having a 6-person squad in this mode is, in my opinion, game-breaking. How do you feel about it? It should be limited to a 3-person squad max. To me, that seems like a fair balance for those harder missions and also for PvP encounters. DMZ used to be somewhat of an oasis away from the multiplayer mayhem that we engage in. Well, that oasis is dried up as Activision Infinity Ward has seemed to recognize that players are moving away from Warzone 2.0 and gravitating to DMZ. Their internal numbers must show that trend. So why else, why else would they start introducing all of the pay to win skins? I said a long time ago that this mode would start to become more popular than Warzone 2.0, and that is playing out before our eyes. As a result or side effect, the solo player experience has suffered tremendously. I guess, all good things come to an end. So how often do you come across solo players? How long after loading into a map do you feel like you encounter other operators? I see UAV towers and planes pinging across my maps within a minute or 2 myself. Don't get me wrong. I do love this mode and still will play solo, but I'm taking my own advice and playing accordingly. Shoot first, ask questions later. Let me know your thoughts about playing as a solo in DMZ. Do you even do it? It's your time, and I thank you for sharing it with me. Have a great day.